Hey everybody, Jacob Godar. Today we're talking about the one thing that you can be doing to prepare yourself for your lawn care landscape company or company business in general to have an awesome 2024 season. And what is that? That's planning. Planning to actually be successful in 2024 is huge for your business. If you let next year happen to you, you're not going to be successful. If you go out there with a plan of action, you will be successful. They say those who fail to plan to fail. And that's the case. Without proper planning, you cannot have as much success. So what does that look like this year going into 2024? What do we do? I'm gonna give you a little bit of a rundown of how we set up, how we plan, so you can initiate this quick little video, take this information and start doing this in your company to have a more successful year in 2024. And so our company planning, what this looks like every year is each individual location meets. We have a day-long meeting. We get our team members together, and this is our management team. You might be saying, Jacob, I don't have a management team. That's fine. It doesn't matter if you're all alone, if you're solo. This is you sitting down, taking a day, taking a half day just for you. And the things that we're going to go over in this meeting, whether it's with a team or whether it's just with ourselves. Number one, what's our goal for 2024? How we do a plan is we set a goal and then we backwork that goal and break it down so we can actually take action and be successful in that goal. Now, one very important part about this goal, this revenue goal, is it shouldn't be a goal that you just know you're going to smash and there's the chance that maybe by October you'll have hit it and then the rest of the year is just going to be coasting. You're going to want to just hammer all year long. So ideally, this is a goal that's, if you get there, it's going to be extremely hard to hit. Maybe you're just going to end up falling a little bit shy, but it's putting that big goal out there for you to keep pointing at the whole year long, no matter what. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to come up with that goal. Now, in an act of backworking that goal, we're going to start doing our budget. We're going to break everything down. We're going to see with that number and with our teams, how they're set up, how many crews are we going to need? Are we going to need to add crews for this? And with a split of work in our company, say we do 50-50 lawn care landscape, or maybe we do 70-30. Now we're going to see, based off of that goal, how much revenue is going to come from each division. And then that's going to help us understand how much hiring do we have to do? How many crews do we need to add? How many trucks do we need? How many pieces of equipment do we need? And this is where all the planning comes in. This is what's going to show you that whole broadcast of next year. We're going to need, I'm looking at ours right here, we're going to need at least 3 trucks. And then I'll go on the board and on the org chart when I'm doing this, and that's how we're coming up with all. We're filling out the blocks on the org chart. I'm putting down how many trucks, those are boxes, and then I'm putting circles in the positions. And then so I can look at this and I can say, okay, we need 6 positions are going to be filled out in the field as well. We're back working this whole thing. We're realizing how many crews, all of these different things. And now we can start adding this into our budget. What the new equipment will be, the cost of these things, changes in overhead, maybe the shop rent's going to go up, maybe some of these other expenses are going to go up, and it's going to change our numbers, our hourly rate. And all of this is how we plan to have a more successful 2024 and how we know that we're still charging what we need to charge, doing what we need to do to be as successful as possible in that following year, and ideally as profitable as possible too, so we can continue to grow and expand our company. The most important thing, though, when you do your budget, these are all approximates. You're usually looking at historical data, and you don't have to be so stuck that, oh, it has to be right. That was always my biggest fear, is it had to be exactly right. A lot of this is fucking guessing. You have to be as close as possible. You have to make educated guesses. You can't just spit out some random thing that in no way even relates to your business, but thinking that it has to be exact, thinking that it's always going to be right, that's wrong. You're going to be wrong. There's going to be guesses. They're going to be close guesses. Sometimes they're going to be closer. Sometimes they're going to be further off. So after we do all that, we've created our budget. We've started to understand what this following year is going to look like, how we're going to do this, how many people, all the equipment, what are maybe some of the things we don't think we should be doing anymore in the business. And here again, it doesn't matter if you're alone or you're with your whole team, but what should we eliminate? What should we delete from the business? Services that aren't profitable, things that we aren't good at, clients that we realize, man, that client was hard to deal with, so we can outline what that client was like to try to look for that in the future, because we know this type of person, we're always going to fail. And so what do you delete and get rid of? And then what do you add? Maybe there's a service that you know you should be adding because you could do a lot of it very easily and you could do it well. And so this is what we're always doing. What can we add? What can we delete? What can we add? What can we delete? And we're making sure it's as fine-tuned as possible because we don't want to keep stuff that is cancerous. Next, we like to talk about who backs up who. What positions back up what positions? It's going to be less important when your company is just Obviously, one person, because you're backing up you. You've got no one else to rely on. As the company grows, who backs up who is a very important conversation. If you have one rock star over here who does all of this high level work and you have no one to back that person up, you're setting yourself up for failure. Same in your office. If you don't have anyone to step into the role of the other person, you don't have a plan if things go awry. You just have to then be reactive. If we're proactive and we know this person goes here when this person is gone, all we do is move the pieces and everybody just continues on until things realign and are normal again. So we see who fills in for who. Next, we like to talk about our sales process and see what does that look like? How are we going to refine that? How are we going to hone that in more? Are we wasting too much time looking at too many jobs that aren't ever going to become anything and therefore not giving enough time to the jobs that are going to become something? Maybe we need to implement more phone consultations from salespeople to verify we're not just going out to stuff that is never going to become a job. There's so many things that we can look at in that sales process on how do we refine, try to make that better so we can be more successful, sell more things more profitably with maybe even fewer resources in the coming year. After that, we like to talk about roles, right? And these can go in any order. Budget, goal and budget should start first. The rest of this can go in any order. Roles is really important. What roles, who's doing what, are things shifting in any management? Or some of the roles out in the field going to change a little bit in this coming year? And we like to just do a big general brainstorming session over what could we do better? What could we do different? How could we set ourselves apart? This year we really sat down and talked about ticket system inside of our CRM that then allowed us to have a certain follow-up schedule for one of our team members who would also be sending thank you cards along the way. And it was a part of our brainstorming that we realized we could set ourselves apart with this. And in this conversation, we realized it's not just a thank you card when we sell the job, it's a thank you card for even the consideration when we go out to do the estimate because that person still hasn't made the decision on who they're using yet. So we get to get out ahead of they haven't made their decision. And now we have been able to set ourselves apart. If they've already chosen us to do their job and we're just giving them a thank you card, we don't have a chance to set ourselves apart because they are already picking us. It doesn't matter. They've already chose us. So little things like that we can come up with, new little things that we're going to implement in the business that are going to help us stay re-warming up and re-contributing to older clients that we've worked with before so they don't really think that we just forgot about them, right? So touching base, reach outs, text, all these different things, brainstorming about what you can do to expand your company. And a reason that this is so important, talking about this outbound, these reaches, these touches on existing clients, is so often you forget. You get into the habit of just market, 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 market. I've done it, do it all the time. But you forget about all of that base that you could just keep reaching out to and sell more and more and more stuff to because they've already bought from you once. You could continue trying to get them to love you more and more and more and just make sure they're taken care of and get gobs of opportunity off of that while just making sure you're taking care of who you already have and not forgetting about them. So the rest of this becomes brainstorming about the things that are important to your company. For us, we were talking about an irrigation tech or plans for what that irrigation position might look like if we move into that direction, or all the irrigation stuff that we sub out. How does that all flow together? Another thing for us is events. We're always doing Tough Mudders and company culture building events. So we talked about, is the schedule we're following still going to be the same? Are we going to do more? And what are we going to do different? And all of this goes back to kind of the three overarching things that I talk about with growing your company. And one is marketing, then it is sales, and it is production. And you're wanting to make those better all the time. So we're going to do all of this. I'm pointing over here. This is my board with our notes. We're going to do all of this to figure out how to make those better next year, to keep spinning that faster and faster and faster as we scale our company. And then we wrapped it up this year that I really liked, that was really initiated from a team member. And that's what I love, when team members have freaking awesome ideas that come in and you start doing them instead of it just being me. And that's how I know that we've got a badass team, that the ideas are not just mine, they're mainly other people's. And this year we wrapped all of this up with a 5-year plan. So we did even more planning. Didn't spend years, but spent 30-40 minutes over lunch talking about, hey, what does that 5-year plan look like? What do we want to do here? What are we going to start out with? How are we going to build that? We kind of move things around a little bit, and it was really, really fun. We plan to have success not just next year, but into the coming years with lots of new additions, lots of new challenges, and lots of opportunity for our community to be served by us and for our team to grow in this company so we can all evolve and become bigger and better as time goes on. So best of luck to you planning to win in 2024. Without a plan, you're planning to fail.